It is July 2nd at 8 o'clock in the evening, and this is going to be a container tour, and we're going to start right here in the front of the house with my bird bath container, and it's looking gorgeous. So I was able to use this bird bath as a planter because it did have a crack in it, but in case the crack was not going to be enough to drain water, I also put some activated charcoal down in the bottom. Now, I didn't want to even attempt to try to drill holes in it as it had the crack, and I figured it would just shatter the rest of the bowl, but it worked out, and everything I put in here is really loving it. So I have some white wave petunias, and they are just gorgeous. Yes, I am a huge fan of the wave petunias in the pink. I think it's a pink can they come in. They are just amazing. I have some vinca in here, and that's so pretty. I have some perennial salvia that I started indoors myself by seed, and they're starting to come up, and I'm so proud of them, my little babies. First time trying to do seeds, and those worked out. I have some creeping Jenny in here, but creeping Jenny does not like these full sun conditions she's in, so she kind of hides all in here. So this is the first piece I've seen coming out of the bird bath, so that's interesting. We'll see how the rest of the season goes for her. And then I took some cuttings of my sweet potato vine that's doing so well in the back planters, and that one took. The other ones I put in here did not take, but this one has rooted. So I'll just get some more cuttings when I have to trim it and put them in here and see what happens. Okay, so that's this container, the bird bath, looking beautiful. All right, so moving on, it's going to take us to the front porch right up here. All right, so the next container I have is one, yes, just one Boston fern. And this is a happy fern. Loving it right here in this spot on the front porch. It's just gorgeous. I bought a really pretty white pot, and you can't even see it. This fern loves it so much, it's completely covered the pot. Let's see, maybe we can see it from this side under the bench. Oh, there you go. There's a pretty white pot under there. But this fern is doing great. There's a happy fern right there on the front porch. And if you're following along, you can see the caladiums are starting to appear. And I'm happy. It's taken forever to see them. Okay, so while we're talking about caladiums, this will be the next container, and not a traditional container, if you will, but I do consider it a container as it's boxed in up front here, and it is filled with white Christmas caladiums that I ordered from Florida Boys Caladiums, and this is just going to look gorgeous once it finishes filling in. Just beautiful. Let me back up here. So I brought that. I've had that for years, and I spray painted it copper, and it's like it was meant to be on this house. It's very, very great how that worked out. But we'll just get a little closer so you can see we've got more popping up in here. Getting ready to branch out. So beautiful. I'm loving these caladiums. Okay, and now we're going to make our way to the back of the house. All right, so continuing the container tour, we're at the back patio, and these containers here on all four of these columns, they are filled with Super Bells Over Easy by Proven Winners, and they are just beautiful, and Diamond Frost Euphorbia by Proven Winners. And you guys, we are going through record-breaking triple-digit heat right now, and we have not had rain since the end of May. So just keeping up with these containers, but they are troopers. They're hanging in there. This one's on the struggle just a little, but healthy, and I just fertilized them yesterday, so hopefully they'll be a little happier getting the fertilizer, but we really need this triple digit heat to settle down. So this container has sweet alyssum in it, and I also sowed this indoors. So it is coming right along, and it's trying to start blooming. Yay! I'm so proud of my little baby seedlings. Guys, I didn't know if I could do it or not, so I'm really, really tickled over the success of the ones that did take. Not all of the seeds I tried took, but the ones that did, I'm just super proud of them. In this container, I have sweet potato vine and more white wave petunias. So the sweet potato vine is trying to overtake these white wave petunias, but these guys are troopers. They're finding a way to peek out in here. All right, and down here I have 2 strawberry pots, and they're doing great. But Miss Ellie, I figured out yesterday that she's been eating my strawberries. I've gotten 2 good handfuls off here already, but I kept wondering why I wasn't getting any more. It's because my baby dog is eating them all. So those are doing great. In here is Super Tunia Lovey Dovey by Proven Winners. Beautiful. This is so much fun. I honestly didn't know how much I would like it, and I really like it. I love the stripes on it. It just adds just a touch of whimsy right here in this little section of the patio, and I love it. And right here I have Proven Winners Super Tunia Royal Velvet. These are just gorgeous. I love the deep color of these. And then in the same pot, I have Petunia Violet Wild that I sowed indoors, you guys. These were Baker Creek heirloom seeds. And I am so pleased with these. Honestly, I didn't know if they were going to take off. And so I added these in with it. But anyway, they make a beautiful combination together. So I love it. They're looking super good. And then what I'm going to do now, somebody is popping some firecrackers. All right, we're going to come back this way. In here is a Maui Yellow Exora, and I overwintered it inside because it is not hardy in my zone. I'm in zone 8A, so it's tropical, and it did so well indoors. It bloomed indoors. It did really, really well. It's not blooming now. It did get some buds on it, and then I don't know what happened, but hopefully we're going to get a show pretty soon, because see some more trying to start right there. So there's that one. And this container here is more sweet alyssum that I sowed indoors. And wow, I just can't believe how this has overtaken the pot. Look, it's coming all over on this side. So I didn't expect that. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect with the sweet alyssum, but I am not mad about it. It's probably needs a deeper pot or something, or I put way too many plugs in this one. But it's looking sharp. This here was doing so well just a week ago, and it has taken a turn. Not really sure what's going on. This was just a spring mix that I bought at Lowe's. So all of this came, it was a pot where you just stick it inside of a pot. I took it out of that pot and actually potted it in this green planter. And it was doing so well. I mean, it's not dead. I just think it's just everything's getting so labored by our heat. It's just really, really taking its toll. But it has purple and white. And I don't know what this thing is in the middle. But I gave it some fertilizer yesterday too. Everything got fertilizer yesterday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. And then this container with the cute little bee on it. Little bee pot hanger. I have Super Tunia Limoncello. And it's doing beautiful. Love it. And here is Dwarf Blew My Mind Morning Glory. So it's Dwarf Morning Glory. It's by Proven Winners. This is Proven Winners too, if I didn't say. And it's doing okay. Doesn't have any blooms, of course, Morning Glory. So it likes to bloom out in the mornings, but it doesn't even have any blooms right now. So won't get any blooms in the morning. We'll just see. Everything's just hanging on. This is a Super Tunia Fuchsia by Proven Winners back here in this pot. Doing pretty good. It has a little ornament on that pot. He's so cute. He was on this pot, but this, like I said, was doing so well you couldn't even see him anymore. So I moved him onto this pot. I love my garden whimsy. If you're new here and don't know that yet, I just love adding touches of whimsy. And here's the little ladybug to say hello. All right. And then this pot here is full of, you guessed it, white wave petunias. They are gorgeous. They're loving this pot. Can't even see what kind of pot. It's just one of those cheap pots I picked up at Lowe's. And it has a little grasshopper in it. So cute. All right. And then moving on from the firewood holder, we're going to come back around here to this container. And this is my raised vegetable planter that my husband got me for Christmas. And I am just really disappointed how everything turned out. But it is my first try, so you know what? I'll just try again next year. But I do have some sweet basil that's hanging on. I had sowed indoors marigolds, yes. And they are, most all of them just pooped out. They just, they couldn't hang. And then I also seeded some nasturtiums, and they're about ready to go too. I do have a few marigolds still hanging on. Look, just pitiful. These are the ones I did indoors, so they're not doing really, really great. So back over here we have the sweet basil, tomato. I left my tomato plant in here, and this is a tomato plant I bought to try to make up for this disaster, but I couldn't find the heart to remove that one in case it starts doing better. But this heat, you guys, these tomatoes, they're like, no way, no thank you. So, all right, so I decided to add a punch of color in here since I don't think my vegetables that I want to grow are going to do anything for me this year. So I chose these Super Bells Tropical Sunrise. So pretty. I love the colors in these. Oh, thought that was open. Well, it kind of is. These are so pretty. This one has one that's better. These are really, really pretty, and I thought maybe they might mimic these were the dwarf jewel mix nasturtiums, so the yellows and oranges. So anyway, and then I also got this luscious citrus blend lantana, and I popped it back here. So we'll get that burst of orange in the back. If they like it in here, we'll just see. This is my green pepper that I sowed indoors inside, and just not working out. And then this is the yellow bell pepper that I bought, and it's on the struggle bus too. You guys, I just don't know. And then I seeded some bush beans. They came up like right away, and now look, a little web, because I mean, yeah, that just sets the whole tone for this this disaster of a year of me trying to grow some vegetables. But you know what? You can always try again. All right, and moving on, we have this area of the patio. So in here are 2 lemon coral sedum plants by Proven Winners. And look, my little frog, you can barely see him. This has just taken off, you guys. So I put one whole one up top. Let's see if I can show you. This is a pot within a pot. So this was a small pot that was here on the property when we moved in. And then there was this larger pot. These are all older. So I decided to just stack them, and I planted pansies in them. And it worked out really well. So what I did with the lemon coral sedum for the summer season is I put one plant up here, and then I divided the second one and put it on one side. Because as you can see, we just get, it's a pot within a pot. So we just get the rim here, and I put one there, one over here, and whoo, it just, and I think I may have put one up front. Can't remember, but I mean, regardless, it has just exploded in these pots. It's exploded so much that I've taken some cuttings and put it in the flower bed, and I'm gonna see how they do. Just did that, so fingers crossed. All right, and then up here And my lady is a Boston fern. And this guy has been through it. Okay, but he's shaking out, looking a lot better. He got pinched by a cold snap. I put it in the beginning of spring and wasn't expecting a cold snap, and boy did we get one. So that's all right. I just keep pulling off when sections of it die. I just keep pulling it off, and then it just seems to rejuvenate and bounce back. So there's that. Let me move this so we can see. My husband also got me this for Christmas, and I love her. I think she is just fabulous. Okay, and then in my little cast iron bunny planter, I just put succulents because this doesn't have a drain hole and it's cast iron. And they're hanging in there. I don't even know what kind of succulents these are, but they're alive, so that's what matters. So there's that. Okay, and then in front of the French doors, try not to get myself in the reflection. So I had these 2 pots have fairy trail hydrangeas in them, and they were doing so well at the beginning of the season, you guys. So well. Well, I think when this heat hit and they were just starting to bloom out, they were just beautiful. I don't know what happened, but woo, they got burned. So I had to switch. These used to be back in here. And so I pulled these to the front because I was gonna put the hydrangeas back in there, and then they were just too much in the shade. So I've kind of pulled them out just a little bit. I don't know. These have to find a new home for next year. Or maybe the rest of this season, we'll see. If I can find a good spot for them, but I just hate to keep stressing them out because they're obviously already stressed. All right, so in these planters, I have some Monrovia sweet potato vine, and it's luscious and doing good. I put some plugs of my sweet alyssum in here, but they're long gone. These were tucked back in there, and they just did not get enough sun to actually flush out. But the sweet potato vine is doing so great. Miss Ellie in there, she's sad because I made her go in, but it's a little warm. It's still warm at 8 p.m. Still feels like it's 90 degrees, so don't want her to overheat, but she pouts. Okay, and then here is one of the fairy trail hydrangeas. I mean, this one's doing okay. It didn't get hurt as severely as this one. Look. Oh, bless it. And this was so pretty. But you can see how much it filled out if you were following along at the beginning of cleaning up the patio. These guys were not very big. I mean, you used to be able to see that little butterfly in the pot. Now it filled out, was so beautiful, and then boom, like it just happened overnight. Just come out here, hydrangea is burnt. And I was like, oh no. So there's those, and the last of the containers will be in the pool area. Don't want to give anybody whiplash, so we're just going to move slow. And the hose, it just stays out because our irrigation is also on the brink, you guys. They were able to come out and fix half of it, and they're not able to come back until July 11th to try to repair the rest of it. So I'm sad about it. It's okay. We're just doing what we're doing. Garden it's hanging on. That's all I can say. It's hanging on. We have obviously been swimming in here, and the puppy dog has been loving it in here as well. Whoop, there goes the gate. All right, so first container in here is this one. And this is a piece of that sweet potato vine in that container on the patio with the white wave petunias. I took a piece and it rooted immediately. Look how great that's doing. Some of my sweet alyssum that I sowed indoors, and a beach ball back here. And in here are Super Bell's watermelon proven winners, and I just put them in here so they're trying to establish themselves. But I love the coloring of those watermelons. Really, really pretty. All right. Oh, I'm gonna have to go over there and get that container. Thought this was the end of them, but it's not. Okay, then up here on the gazebo, I have my 2 hanging baskets, and they're full of sweet potato vine and white wave petunias. But this one is basically just a sweet potato vine. And these things grow so fast, I have to keep trimming them down. But birds try to make a nest in here, so I just left them alone. But at the expense of the white wave petunias in this one. But at least the hanging basket is, oh, there went a moth. Don't know if you saw that. And this one is largely intact. So on one side we have the white wave petunias and the sweet potato vine, and the wind's blowing that pretty good. So these look really, really good. I'm pleased whether I get the white or not in them. They've turned out really well. All right. And then here, I put some maiden grass. I had some birds of paradise. These were indoors. They were not thriving. So I brought them out here and thought they might love the Texas heat since they're tropical. No, they died, you guys. Gone. They're goners. So I've gotten these maiden grasses. So we'll see how they do. So, and I'm still rearranging pots in here. Still got to get the pool area how I want it to look. So I don't think this is their permanent place. And then these containers here have Supertunia Mini Vista White. Proven winners. Beautiful. And some Chinese fountain grass that I sowed indoors. So that's starting to come up. So that looks really good. I'm pleased with both of these containers, and obviously they love their home. So I've had container success for the most part, so I cannot complain. I'm really happy with these guys, really happy. And I mean, these guys are just gorgeous. And I love that my fountain grass is trying to grow up and work out like they're my kids. Okay, I'm losing daylight fast. Here's the other maiden grass in this pot. All right, and now we're gonna go here. Okay, so these pots here, Supertunia Vista Bubblegum. And I got a new one to put in here, but the other one is coming back. This pot, you guys, when we were still getting rain in May, was not draining and I didn't realize it, so it killed off the salvia I had in here and one of the Supertunia Vista bubblegums. So I got another Supertunia Vista bubblegum, but I did not put another salvia in this one. And I'll tell you why, because the Supertunia Vista bubblegum is really choking this one out. Look, you can barely see it in here, but not complaining because this is gorgeous. This is supposed to have 2 Supertunia Vista bubblegums in it, but these were not bloomed out when I got them at Home Depot. This is not a Supertunia Vista bubblegum, even though it was labeled that way. So it's very pretty and bright, and it works well in this container. I don't know which one it is. So there's those, and this one will catch up in no time. So we'll have 2 beautiful pink bubblegum containers pretty soon. All right, so I fixed that. I realized it was crooked when I was bending down here. All right, so there they are. Oh, you guys, I just love that pink with the pool. I think that's just, that just screams summer to me. All right, and 2 more containers. When I was in the pool area, I forgot about these 2 containers. So in here I have a fern in this pot, and I overwintered it inside. It did great. This guy lived on the table in the gazebo last year, and I will be moving it back there because it was so happy and luscious and full. And then in this container, I had it in the birdhouse. These are white impatiens, so we'll just see what happens. None of my impatiens are doing well. They're not flowering, so I don't know what's going on. Just a rough year in my garden. So it may be another year where I have nothing in that bird cage because I just don't know what to put in it. This didn't like it in there, but now it's butted up being out here on this table. So I don't know. Any suggestions, please let me know for that bird cage. And I'll walk over here and get closer so you can see it. It's really lovely. It was here on the property when we bought the house last February. So I really like it. I just haven't figured out what to put in it. So look, it's so nice. It's iron. It's very pretty. So yes, any suggestions, please let me know, because it would just be, it needs plants in it. I just don't know which plants. All right, so that's going to conclude my container tour. And I think you can hear the cicadas on the sound coming through, serenading us. And I hope wherever you are, you're having the most wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching and adding color to my world.